You don't often meet the thinker whose ideas have reshaped how millions define purpose. But that's who joins me today. Welcome to the Midlife Reinvention Podcast, a podcast helping women in career and life transitions achieve clarity on their next steps so they can transform uncertainty into an energizing next chapter. I'm your host, Kavita Ahuja, and the founder of It's My Time Now Coaching. If you're wondering what's next in your career or life, you are in the right place. Through solo and guest episodes, you'll gain practical tips, tools, and inspiration to help you uncover blocks, gain confidence, and be, do, and have what you want. I rediscovered myself after the age of 50, and I know you can too. It's my time now to help you do just that. I'm so excited you're here. Let's dive in. I'm excited to reshare one of our most loved conversations with you. Before we begin, I want to share why I'm re-releasing this conversation now. Over the past few weeks on the podcast, we've been spending time on what really sits underneath unfulfillment, especially for people who are capable, accomplished, and doing well on paper, yet sense that something no longer quite fits. As those conversations have been unfolding, I keep coming back to this interview. This two-part conversation with Francesc Morales, co-author of Ikigai, The Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life, remains one of the most downloaded interviews on this podcast. Listening back now, I can hear why it lands so strongly. For many listeners, this episode didn't create a sudden aha moment. Instead, it helped clarify and confirm what they were already sensing, that a chapter was shifting, that their energy was changing, and that it might be time to listen more closely to what was asking for attention. So if you've been listening recently and feeling like pieces are starting to come together, this conversation may help bring a bit more clarity to that process. And if you haven't heard it before, it's a meaningful place to enter the larger conversation we've been having here around fulfillment, alignment, and what comes next. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Midlife Reinvention Podcast. I'm your host, Kavita Ahuja, and I'm coming in live from Zermatt, Switzerland, at the foot of the majestic Matterhorn mountain peak in the heart of the Swiss Alps. And I am attending a wonderful retreat organized called Ikigai in Nature, which is organized by Nikki Smrdi of Travel Gems. We have spoken much about the concept of Ikigai in this podcast, and today I'm absolutely thrilled to have on the show Francesc Morales, who is one of the world's leading experts on Ikigai, as well as one of the leading figures in the field of personal development. Francesc has written numerous internationally successful books. Among many other works, he is a co-author of Ikigai, Japan's Secret to a Long and Happy Life. It has been translated into more than 65 languages, occupying the top bestseller positions in the US, UK, the Netherlands, Turkey, and India for several years. Francesc is spreading the word about the Ikigai concept all over the world, and I'm honored and privileged to be able to learn more about his journey and about the concept that, as you know, is a key component of my coaching program and a concept to which I live by every day. So thank you so much for being here, Francesc.
A pleasure.
It's such a nice...
Thank you for having me here in this wonderful place. And I am very happy to be in your podcast.
Oh, I'm so honored, actually. And it's a perfect environment, isn't it, to be talking
very
about...
quiet.
Yes.
To have the Matterhorn in front of us. That is a great inspiration. And this is a good place to think and to rethink also.
Yes, absolutely. If you don't mind, Francesc, I'd love to begin with your journey. And I understand that you left, we were going a little bit before, you left the university twice. You went through war-torn Croatia, Slovenia, and you waited tables and you taught yourself piano. And this is all before even published one book. So now you are one of the world's leading experts on Ikigai and personal development. So if you could tell our audience which of those transitions or another one contributed most to your current Ikigai?
I think traveling was a great inspiration. As Henry David Thoreau said, before sitting down to write, you must stand up for living. He said something like that. So, first, you must have something to say. And if you are traveling, knowing people, actually, Ikigai comes. That was the first book in the world written about that, or book with Hector Garcia. It comes after a very interesting journey in Okinawa, that in that time was the blue zone #1 in the world. We were in Ogimi, a village called the Village of the Centenarians, and we had a lot of interviews there. We could analyze their way of living. And out of all that, we write the book Ikigai. So first, you need the experience. You need to be in contact with people much wiser than you. That's what we did. And after that, you can understand what you have lived and you can write something of value.
Yes. So just following up on that, what would you, if you could sum up your current Ikigai, what would it be for yourself?
My Ikigai has changed. I think I am living my fourth Ikigai right now.
Okay.
When I was 27, my Ikigai was being a teacher of German language. And for me was the most important thing in the world to do that, especially with people who thought that they could never learn German. So I had a challenge to prove them through simplicity, playing, traveling with them to Germany, that they were able to do that, to break this mental barrier. This was my first Ikigai. My second Ikigai was one of publisher. I was working first as translator, then I was editing books, and in the end, I got a position as publisher in a self-help book company. And there I was 2-3 years, and I thought it would be my Ikigai for the rest of my life. But in that company, there was a very bad psychological situation of mobbing. There was a very bad atmosphere. It was totally toxic. So in the end, I left. So I abandoned also my profession and I went to India, as so many Westerners have done when they feel lost in life. You go to the Oriental country for orientation. That's what I did.
Okay.
And I was one month and a half talking with people, with sadhus, with travelers, traveling cheaply in trains, talking to the people. And in that trip, I wrote my first novel the title is Lost in Bombay.
Oh.
And that was my real start as a writer was in India. I wrote it in a notebook with a ball pen.
Yes.
Every evening, and it was my inspiration. And from there, when I came back, I was a freelancer, and so my third Ikigai was being a writer, and my fourth Ikigai nowadays is helping other people to find their Ikigai, normally by workshops, lectures, visiting schools, colleges. This is my main activity nowadays. Even I go on writing books.
Wonderful. Wow, what a journey.
Yes.
It's a very interesting journey. I was just, as you were talking, I was just thinking, how do we know? You say that, I think you've said that our Ikigai renews itself every 6 or 7 years, or in your case, I don't know how long it took, but how do we know that one cycle is closing and another one, a new, fresh Ikigai is emerging?
That's a very good question. Normally, when you get bored in an activity that before it was satisfying for you, it means that maybe this stage is finishing, but you are going to enter a different phase of your life. So, for instance, in the beginning, when I was working in the publishing company, I was very happy to be there. I felt privileged. I had a good salary. I had responsibilities. I could look for foreign titles for authors. And I was totally compelled to do that. I had a very high compromise. But due to this toxic human atmosphere, my life batteries went down. And in the end, Sunday evening, I felt depressed. That Monday I had to go to the office. So that's the sign of that it means, okay, this part of your life is over. This chapter is finished. You need to start something different. And sometimes you don't find immediately the new Ikigai. And there is like a desert crossing, like in the Bible, that you are into a void and you need to explore, know new people, to have new experiences. And maybe after 1 year, 2 years, you find something and you get your illusion and enthusiasm back.
Yes, yes. It's so funny you were mentioning about the Sunday night, and I had that on a Monday morning. I remember I was hitting the snooze button on my alarm because I didn't want to go to my work. That was a signal to me.
Something very typical
Yes,
of an unhappy life.
yes,
So when I was a child, as so many children, I didn't want to go to school because I was very bad student. And so Sunday evening, I was depressed because I didn't like that idea. And when it happens to you going to your profession, to your work, it means that you are not in the right place, that you must find a new place where you are energetic again and you
Yes.
can give the best of yourself.
yes. I think that's a great signal for
Yes,
sure.
and actually, this is something that psychology is studying a lot. There is an expression for that. I don't know the expression in English when you are fired, but internally. There is a concept for that.
Mhm.
So there are people, that's interesting, who they have already abandoned their profession or their responsibility, but the body goes to the office, but the brain and the heart
Yeah.
stay at home.
Yes.
But internally,
Yeah.
they are not there anymore.
Yeah, they're like an outside shell.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, yes,
And they are waiting maybe to be fired,
yes.
or that something new appears, or that they wake up and say, okay, I cannot go on with that.
Yes, yes. That's so true. I've heard that a lot from many of my clients. And one other thing, I kind of switched the question a little bit, and I heard from many of my clients is that many people worry that the work that makes their heart sing or that fulfills their ikigai won't pay the rent or they won't pay their bills, right? So what would you say to those people who believe that they can't make money following their ikigai, or if the purpose and paycheck doesn't align?
Money is the result of a process. When I started writing in India, lost in Bombay, I got paid $700 for that book. I couldn't live with that. I could live maybe 2 weeks with that money by that time because I was very young. So if you discover a new passion and a new ikigai, you cannot expect that it's going to pay your bills. You must think strategically as a process. Say, okay, I got this money, this book is published. It means that I can go to the audience and maybe I can grow from that. And then you make a plan and you say, in 2, 3 years, I want that books are the 50% of my income. And then maybe I am not going to work 10 hours as a freelancer. I am going to work 5. Maybe I will live more cheaply to have time to write. And my plan is that in 2, 3 years, I can do only that. So you must have a middle term mentality because it doesn't happen from today to tomorrow. So you need to be a better author or a better what you have chosen to do, and you need experience, and success doesn't come immediately. It's very rare. So there will be a period of your life in which you will have both jobs at the same time, your official job
Yes.
and your future job that you are building, that you are getting education, experience, contacts, all this.
Yes. Yes, I think that's very true. I mean, and that's
It's a transition. You need a transition. And depending on which is the job, it is shorter or longer. For instance, if you work in a bank and you want to be a therapist and you have never done that, you have the education, but you have never been in contact with clients, it's said that you need for 4 years to complete a group of clients that can pay your life. But it doesn't happen immediately. So that you need these 4 years to put a lot of seeds
yes.
to collaborate, knowing new people in NGOs, to give talks, to have a podcast, to be in contact with this world where you want to be part of.
Yeah. In the West, we call it a side hustle.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have to leave. You don't have to leave your work right away. If you really are interested and you know that this is your Ikigai, then you can do it on side. So that's kind of called.
And actually, we have many examples of people who run two Ikigais at the same time. Franz Kafka was lawyer during the day and writing novels every evening, every night, and many other authors. And even Viktor Frankl, as we said here in this retreat, during the day, he was the director of the psychiatric department of a hospital. Mm-hmm. And in the evenings, he had a private consultation for free because he felt well working with young people and helping them. And it was a different job. So you can have two lives and they complement each other, actually.
Yeah. That's wonderful advice.
And for instance, if you have a job that you don't like very much, but in the evenings you are studying online the degree of psychology, you can think, okay, maybe this job is not perfect, but it's paying my future.
It's paying.
Now, thanks to this money, I can pay my rent and I can pay this thing I am passionate about.
Yes. I also think it gives
you need a feeling of gratitude, even for that.
Yes. That's a really good point. Mm-hmm. Don't lament it. It gives you the positive energy.
Everything what we do is useful. That's something that I discovered when I was in university. I came from a poor family and I had to work as a waiter during the summers, during the weekends.
Yes.
And many people think that being a waiter, it's a mechanical job. Nothing to do with that. So I was working in a camping, and because I was the last employee to be there, they gave me the worst schedule to open the bar at 7:00 in the morning. That's okay. And then I saw that at that time, people who came to the bar were the loneliest ones. Normally, retired people, divorced people, that they were with their roulotte for 3-4 months for the season. They came there. And when they came to the bar at 7:00, I knew that it was the first human interaction of the day. And I thought, what is going to happen here is very important. I can treat them with neutrality, being professional, and this person will come back exactly as what she was in the morning. I can treat them badly with the lack of attention and not being very kind to them.
Yes.
And then this emotional state goes down. Or I can be nice, remember her name, tell her that there is a concert tonight, that maybe she would. And this person is going to be a bit happier. So what I understood in this job, that when you put a coffee, you put many things more there. You are deciding a little bit the more or less happiness of this person.
You really influence the person's really day and their life, right?
Yes. So and because every job that we do, even if you work in a supermarket, if you work in a shop, if you are on the phone, if you are selling, you are in contact with people. And there is this emotional transaction from one person to the other. So everything what you do is relevant.
Exactly.
So there is not a little job, actually, because you are working with people.
I believe that. I think everything that we do in our lives leads us to where we are today. Mm-hmm. So don't regret it at all.
And it happens to everyone. Many people can report that maybe they were gloomy or sad, and they take a taxi, and the taxi driver is a very funny person, and you change.
Yes.
So it happens in any job that we can have in this life.
Yes. Those are great examples. So, Francis, in your book, in the book that we've just been discussing this week, you say that, I'll quote, "Our Ikigai is hidden deep inside each of us, and finding it requires a patient search." So you led us through some of that search this week. Now, you've depicted the Venn diagram of the Ikigai concept, and Western media really likes that. And I'm wondering if in your opinion, if you could redraw it, or if you could add anything, or
remove something, would you do that, or is there something that you feel that would add more to that diagram?
So to add something to the diagram,
Yeah, or if there's something
what we can say is that some circles are more important than others, because let's remember that the 4 circles is what you love, what you are good at, what you can be paid for, what the world needs. I think that if you must start for only one circle, who you are is very important. So what you are good at is a circle of talent. Normally, when I work with young people in high school, these young boys and girls, they don't know what are their gifts because they have low self-esteem, because their bodies are changing, they don't like themselves. They are normally accused of what they lack or what they don't do at home. So they don't get positive feedback, these young people, and they don't know if they are good at listening, if they are good at organizing, at being creative. So I think the first step to know your Ikigai, to discover it, is to understand who you are and what are your strengths. And when you understand that, if you're good communicating, that's a very good clue to find your Ikigai. If you know that your element is not working with people, that you need to work alone, then there is another kind of thing that will be your purpose. So I would start by that.
Okay. Would you add maybe the element of environment to that?
Yes, the environment is very important, the human environment.
Yes, whether it supports or takes away.
There was a very famous lecture of an American entrepreneur, Jim Rohn, and he said, you are the average of the 5 people with whom you spend more time.
Yes.
And that's so true. I think, and in these 5 people, you cannot put your mother or your boss, because you cannot choose them. You must be with them. If you're a good person, you must take care of your mother.
Yes.
And you need to be maybe in the office sometime. No? But there are other people that you choose, friends, relatives that you can see more often or less often. And in the end, you get similar to the psychology of these people. I remember that when I was in my first years in university, I was together with people who were very negative and very hypercritics. They were always against everything. Everything was shit or this. And I was talking like them in the end. Why? Because you built a little universe together. So when you change this human environment and you go to another one where the people is more passion, or more altruistic, and they support each other, you start doing the same. So because of that, it's important to be near to the people that you want to be similar. So people that you perceive as better than you.
Or also that support the quest for your Ikigai.
People who you can admire.
Yes.
For their human values. Right. Because if you read them, you will learn many things that you can do like them.
Yes. Yes. Good. Excellent. Thank you for that.
I'm sure you were as mesmerized as I was with Francis Morales' incredible journey and thoughtful advice. Before we wrap up part 1, here are 3 actions to carry into your week. Number 1, spot the signal. Notice when routine work drains you. Sunday night dread is your cue to explore a fresh Ikigai. Number 2, build your runway. Devote 5 focused hours a week at least to a side hustle experiment. Treat it as paid R&D for your future self. And number 3, inventory your strengths. List moments when time flies for you. These are breadcrumbs to your next purpose. I'd love to hear from you. How did Francis's insights land with you so far? Reach out to me at kavita@itsmytimenowcoaching.com and let me know. Part 2 lands next week with the longevity habits and flow strategies, which Francis shares with me, among many other things. Follow the show so you don't miss it, and share this episode with a friend who may be considering their own transition. In the meantime, my friend, if you're struggling to find your Ikigai, reach out to me. I'm offering a complimentary 45-minute Ikigai discovery session tailored just for you, where we will uncover your strengths, passions, and values and discuss ways you can bring your Ikigai into the world in your next chapter. Click the link in the show notes to book this call with me. Thank you so much for listening, and don't forget to tune in next week for part 2 of my enlightening interview with Francis Morales. Until then, be very, very well.